Live. We haven't done this in a little while. Always like talking to you guys. That's why we have the live chat. Get to your questions. Hit me up. Give me whatever questions you want. I promise I'll look at them all. I'll read them all. Probably answer almost all of them. I just want to start clearing up one thing. Someone asked me in the last one. He didn't ask me. He just said, sorry, I should say, subscribe to the channel. Like the videos if you like it. Share the videos. No, you can do that. You can share them. And, of course, hit the notification bell. So, anyway, someone made a comment on the last one. Why you keep using your own picture? You'll use any excuse to use your own picture. Why don't you put up a picture of a decent bodybuilder? Well, I was a decent bodybuilder. I wasn't great. I was pretty decent, though. I made it to the national level a few times, placed second, third a few times at the national level, came close to turning pro. That's decent. It's not great. I never said I was a great bodybuilder. But the main reason is because I don't have rights to use anyone else's picture. So if I use a picture of Big Ramy in my thumbnail, and I'm talking all about steroids, Big Ramy might come back to me and say, hey, what are you doing using my picture and talking about steroids? That's not cool, bro. I'm sure that's exactly what he would say. But at least I know with my picture, I don't care if I use my picture. I can say what I want. Another thing I want to clear up, I've been getting comments saying, you're not on, stop saying you're on TRT. You're not on TRT. I never said I was on TRT. So right now I'm working with this company Frontline, and I'm on HRT, hormone replacement therapy. I do need a certain amount of testosterone because my body doesn't make it anymore because I've abused steroids since, I say on and off, but it's mostly on. I took breaks of, I took a little over a year break from, actually most of the year, all throughout 98, I didn't use anything. Started up again about halfway through 99. So that was about a year and a half off. So we're beginning this whole steroid adventure of mine in late, it was November 1996. I was 27 years old. I had turned 27 in September. And I took another break from 2006 to, so it was 2006 Arnold Classic. That was March. I didn't use anything after that until, did a natural NPC show where I had to be clean for a year. I did that in late summer of 2007, and I was clean for that. And I think I went back on about 2 months after that show. Like, okay, I'm good. I don't need to be. I went and got my levels tested, and they were pretty crappy. So I went back on. Anyway, I'm not on TRT. TRT. It's funny how a lot of you guys who are on TRT, whatever your amount is, you think that's the max amount anyone should use, when your doses are all individualized. Some of you are only on, I've heard some people tell me they're only on 50 milligrams a week. That's very, very low. If you can get high level normals of testosterone on 50 milligram injection a week, God love you. You're doing great. Most people, it's between 100 and 200. I hear a lot of people saying 100, 150, 200, very, very common. Not very often you'll see people who are prescribed more than that. Currently, I'm on 280. I'm going in for blood work. So we're talking on a Tuesday. I'm going back in for my first blood work Thursday morning since I started with this company. So I was using 400 milligrams a week of SIP on my own, underground SIP. Don't know if it was actually 400 milligrams or not. And 400 milligrams of DECA a week. Yeah, substantial amount. What I've been using for the past 6 weeks, 280. This is split into a week. I split this into 2 shots, but the total for the week is 280 test SIP, which is higher than TRT, and my computer shut off. 100 twice a week, 200 DECA a week. So that is beyond what TRT would be, and I want to see where my levels are at on this. I'm just curious. I feel pretty good. I feel about the same as when I was on the slightly higher 400 and 400 versus 280 and 200. But I'm very curious to see what my levels are at on this because it also let me, this is the first time since I used the Androgel in my very first flirtations with legit TRT, when I was doing it through a doctor, not through a clinic. This was through Dr. Abraham Morgenthaler. I tell you guys to Google him all the time because he's a very interesting guy. Morgentaler, Dr. Abraham Morgenthaler. He runs a successful men's health Boston clinic with 2 locations in the Boston area. He's a professor. He teaches at Harvard Medical School. And more importantly, he was one of the pioneers of TRT. He was one of the first doctors in the United States, maybe in the world, to really advocate for it and try to convince the medical world that it was a necessary therapy for men whose who were hypogonadal, you know, as they were aging, their body stopped making it, or they had abused steroids maybe. I think most of his patients, because I remember in the waiting room, it was a lot of older guys. I was in my late 30s, early 40s when I was seeing him, and I was definitely one of the younger people in his office. Looks like you guys might have some questions or comments, or that's what we're here for. Let's go to the phones. Branch, you have to wait for your walk. Badass 1G, have you had calcium heart scan? Yes. My score was a 9. A perfect score is a 0. So since then, I have a cardiologist. I've had a cardiologist for about 4 years now. He prescribed me statin. I'm on a generic version of Lipitor. The generic version is called atorvastatin. And I take 10 milligram pill every morning with breakfast. 10 milligram, very, very low dose of statin. Statins at higher doses do have some nasty side effects. Muscle weakness and muscle tears are one of those. I don't want one of those. But yeah, so my calcium score was a 9. Brian Nasser, what's up, Brian? Brian, use your own pictures because they're badass as well. Thank you, Brian. I mean, I'm not that bad. I hate to put this other guy on blast, but I looked at his YouTube channel. It was some lifting videos. Strong dude, but not a lot of muscle. And, you know, God bless anyone who's trying to better themselves. It's just, when you're talking crap about me saying I look crappy, and then I look and you're like, you know, a third my size, it's like, he's natural too. I get that. You know, I don't expect anybody who's natural to be as big as someone who's on gear. Come on now, that's silly. Nice watch. I only have one nice watch, so I wear it. It's a tag. Yeah. I only have one. My wife's got a nice collection. Howdy, says Magos 108. I thought you were going to say Captain Howdy, which was from The Exorcist. Bill Scarnati, IPB Pro. Yeah. I remember seeing pictures of you, Bill. You're a Masters Pro, right? Lean. I remember you being very lean. Hey, Ron, does your estrogen go high when you're on? Oh, my estrogen is through the roof. Through the roof. So I left out one part of that, what I'm using from Frontline Alternative Medicine, which is the first time I've ever used, aside from some a couple pre-contest cycles in the final weeks, I would use Rimidex. So now I'm on 1,000 milligrams of anastrozole. That's one pill, and I have to take half of that. So I have to cut this tiny pill into quarters. It's tiny in the first place. I have a pill splitter, and I cut that into tiny pieces. They're not exactly the same size. I try my best. So I'm doing total. I do one of those on a Monday, one on a Friday. So the total is 500 milligrams of anastrozole a week. Because, yeah, my estrogen was like a 200, my total. I think that's the estradiol number. Very high because my test was high. I think the last time my testosterone was tested, it was right around 1900 total. I think the free was like 40 or 50. I have the results are over there. I could really look if I wanted to. But yeah, my estrogen was through the roof, as you would expect. Asim Barakzayev. Andrew Jack wins the Arnold Classic. How does that shape top 3 in Olympia? No, best blood pressure medication. I don't take any. My blood pressure has been fine. I've never had high blood pressure. Isn't that crazy? I think I might have had it at times when I was young, a little younger, and bulking and getting real fat, but I wasn't checking my blood pressure. But every time I've gone to the doctor with the cuff, it's always been fine. So I don't know the best blood pressure medication. That's a good question for a doctor, which obviously I'm not. Back to you, Asim. Andrew Jack, if he wins the Arnold, if he beats... So let's see who he would be beating. If Andrew Jack wins the Arnold, he's beating two-time Mr. Olympia, Big Ramy. He's beating Arnold Classic, New York Pro champ, and third place Olympia, Nick Walker. William Bonac, two-time Arnold champ, Olympia runner-up. Sean Clarita and Kamal Algarni, both 212 Olympia champs. Samson's good, Akeem's good, Justin, Patrick Moore. It would put him in a great spot for the Olympia. It would show that he's making progress quicker than, you know, I keep saying he's a work in progress, and I don't know how long it's going to take him, but people surprise me, like Samson Dauda. Samson improved fast last year. From the Arnold and the Boston Pro, which were in the early spring, that's actually late winter, technically. We're still in winter time. He improved a lot. So Andrew, if he shows the kind of improvements that like Samson made between then and now, just overall, he's in a great spot for the Olympia. I mean, I still think he's got all the potential in the world, Andrew Jack. He could definitely be a future Mr. Olympia. Let's go back. Best blood pressure medication, don't know. Mr. Jakes, New Bedford, Massachusetts in the house. Come here, Branch. New Bedford, great fishing town, a lot of Portuguese settlers there. Yeah, is that where? Fall River is where General Fitness, great gym, great hardcore gym. And of course, it's where my grandparents are buried because they were from Their family was back from there. Our stuff. I like the term TOT. I think you started the phrase. Testosterone optimization therapy. I doubt I started the phrase. I'd love to take credit for it, but I doubt I came up with that. Let's see. Dane, hey Ron, did you hear Milos talking about a change to Samson's plan? They've added Tren in for the first time. Milos actually went on record and said that. If that's true, it's crazy that you would think Samson got to this level and he's never used Tren before. Whereas, you know, every little twerp in the gym, every high school kid with the bushy broccoli hair, they're always trying to get on Tren. So here we have a guy that's, you know, top 6 in the Olympia, and he had never used Tren before. If that's true. Wow, that's crazy. No, I had not heard that. Trailblazer 82, I saw a study that TRT can cause heart failure. No. I'm currently 40 years old and considering TRT, but I don't want to die young. No. You're actually at a greater risk of heart failure with low testosterone. Yeah, using steroids and testosterone in the mega doses that bodybuilders use to get huge, very bad for the heart, very, very bad. But legit TRT to put you into a normal, healthy range of testosterone is going to optimize your health. It's not going to put you at risk for anything. You're going to be at less risk for heart disease, diabetes, all kinds of things. So TRT is a great thing through a medical practitioner who's putting you into a normal range, like high normal. You know, like normal range is considered 300 to 1,000, generally speaking, whereas bodybuilders blasting a ton of gear, their testosterone can be anywhere from 1,000 to, I've heard, as high as 10,000. I don't even know if that's possible to measure it that high, but that's what I've heard. So yeah, do some more research. That is just not true. Let's see. Bill Scarnati, mine was high too. George P, do you think Big Ramy will win the Arnold Classic this year? He could. I mean, so many guys could win the show. I'm going to be doing a preview with Giles Thomas and Miguel Chain, and we're gonna really chop it up and really get down to who we think's going to do what. But it's all speculation until the day of the show. Badass, honest question, do you consider yourself to be addicted to PEDs? What's the exit plan? Honestly, yes, 100% addicted, 100%. I won't lie to you guys. But that's why I'm still using test. If I didn't use anything, no testosterone at all, my body would just crash and burn. I'd be exhausted, depressed, no sex drive, no sexual function, no energy. Life would suck ass. Legit TRT, I'm not on much more than that right now, and I still feel really good. But to be on nothing, I couldn't do that. I'd have to be on something to keep me looking and feeling the way I like to feel. But the exit plan is to use the smallest amount I can to be still in that high normal range. So based on the blood work I'm getting done late this week, and I should have results by next week, I'll know where my levels are at. And, you know, I don't think I'll increase, but I don't know if I'll decrease. We'll see. Branch, you want to say hi, Branch? Come here. Get up. So Branch, get up here, Papa. Come here and say hi. Up, up, up. So Branch is we call him a pit bull, but he's actually half pit bull, half Labrador. What a beautiful boy he is. Yeah, very good boy. I love you, Branch. You're a good boy. You're a good boy. He's waiting for his walk, but he gets 2 good walks today. He's spoiled. Can you look over there? No? No? All right, get down. So yeah, the exit plan is just to use as little as I can and still look and feel good. But I'm not going to go nothing. I would never go completely off and not use any testosterone at all. That would be foolish. Trailblazer, do you have sleep apnea? If yes, use or suggest CPAP. I have slight sleep apnea. I keep my body weight down because I've noticed it starts around 220 pounds for me, and it gets worse and worse the heavier. When I was like trying to get pushing 250 and I was 245 to 248 for a while, this was an off season a few years back, my sleep apnea was horrible. It was at the point where I was going to get a mask, and then I looked into it and like, I don't want to have something on my face all night. I just don't. So I just keep my body weight down. I stay leaner. I notice if I get down to like 215 in that range, I don't have any sleep apnea at all. I sleep great. 210, if I can get down to 210, which I did for the summer, 210, 212, really lean for me, pretty damn close to contest condition. I sleep so much better. I don't want a machine. So right now, I do have a slight sleep apnea. It's a little over 220, like 222, 223. I have one of those. We bought a recliner, those adjustable, like a lazy boy. We bought one of those like 6 months ago, and sometimes I sleep in that because I'm reclined back and my head's still up, and the airway's still open, and I can breathe. Magos, did you hear from Nick DeGilio's channel that Rami's quads are improved, the denser bone? I saw the thumbnail. I haven't looked at that. That's crazy because I thought they were some kind of muscle tear or something, and I don't know how those could be gone unless they filled him in with something. I don't know. I'm interested. I really want to see what Rami looks like at this Arnold. If he is way better looking than at the Olympia, I'm going to give this guy his props. You know, I'm not a hater of anybody, and I love to see people. I love comebacks. I love when people are supposedly all done and they've been written off, and then they come back and just, haha, no, I'm still here, bitches. I love that, and they come back way better. I hope that happens with Rami because Rami's a very nice guy, very cool guy. Nothing but love and respect for Rami. What next? George P. If Rami loses, do you think he will retire? I don't think so. You know, eventually he's going to retire, but he's only what, 36. I don't know if this is true, but I feel like I feel he feels an obligation to his fans to keep doing this because so many of his fans love him, support him. They want to see him compete. It would break a lot of their hearts if he retires now. And, you know, if he had serious health issues or something, or if he starts placing really poorly, I think then he'll walk away. So I think this Arnold is critical for Rami. It could be a turning point. It could be the beginning of the end, where he's just about, this is maybe what tells him, okay, maybe it's time to walk away. Or this could be a big comeback. He's like, ha, you know, make everyone eat their words who said he was done. I try not to write anyone off anymore because I've been proven wrong so many times. So, but I love seeing when people are written off, even if I'm the one who wrote them off or one of the people, I love seeing them come back and prove everyone wrong. I love it. You know, who doesn't love underdog stories? Like Rocky, you know, the guy, we all love those. Every great sports movie is like an underdog story where someone who had all the odds against them or a team that had all the odds against them, they rise to the occasion, they win the big title or they win the big game or the big fight or whatever. We all love that crap. Badass again, Trailblazer, right? Sleep apnea, I fixed it ASAP and for free. Had to learn to sleep propped up, yeah. Yeah, when I sleep in my bed, I have a pillow and my head's like this. It's not flat. If my head's back, my throat, my airway starts closing up and I can't breathe. You know, I think any of you guys out there who are heavier, who have put on a lot of muscle, especially if you don't have a skinny neck, if those of you with big necks, like thick necks, I'm pretty sure you all have horrible sleep apnea because your airway, it's like choked. You're literally choking to death on your own neck. It's horrible. Let's see, Trailblazer again, sleeping wedges. Yeah, I mean, I just fold up a pillow. Am I on trend still? No, Natty Gaines, I'm not on trend. Not on trend. I told you exactly what I'm on, and this is God's honest truth. Everything I'm on right now is 280 of test cypionate a week, and that's divided into 2 shots. 200 milligrams of Deca, that's divided into 2 shots. So 140, 100, 140, 100. And I'm also on 2.5 IUs of growth hormone right now. It's running out. I'm going to try ipamorelin through Frontline. I'm curious to see how ipamorelin compares to, I don't want to say real GH because I've only used legit pharma grade GH once. I had a pen, one of those pens, or twice. I think I got 2 of those pens. Someone sent it to me. But most of the time it's been underground stuff. I'm just curious how the ipamorelin compares because a lot of people use that stuff. It's a lot cheaper. Yes, Dennis James' podcast. Oh, okay. We're talking about any tennis elbow fixes. So tennis elbow is the inside of your elbow. Inflammation there. You can ice it. You can take, ibuprofen to cut down the inflammation. The only fix is to try to figure out what's really causing it. It might be a lot of repetition with like extension movements. Try not to just keep beating it up. Try to figure out how to give it a break. That's the only thing. I thought I had tennis. They call this golfer's elbow when it's on the outside of the elbow. So tennis and golf. Turns out my tricep was like half off for years and I didn't even know it until I tore the whole thing off. And then they opened it up and said, oh, did you realize your tricep has been half torn for years and years? It was all, the edges were up here and they were blunt. I'm like, oh, well, that explains why that tricep sucks even worse than that tricep. Now you know. Badass. Yeah, it's all about gravity. You sleep flat on your back, your tongue falls back in your throat and blocks your airway. Took me a week to learn how to sleep elevated. Now I love it. Yeah. He's right. It's your tongue and your throat. They all close up and you can't get any freaking air in. It's horrible because you wake up literally choking. With severe sleep apnea, you can wake up, I think I've heard like 300, 400, 500 times a night. Yeah. So obviously you're not sleeping very well. Trailblazer, current body weight, looking big. I stay lean. I'm like 220. I fluctuate between 220 and 223. I haven't been under 220 since like summertime. Late summer, early fall. Mm, yeah. And I'll get under there again. As soon as the weather gets a little better, I'm going to start dropping some weight. I think I'm going to start dropping weight because, my wife's stopped buying a bunch of crap. She was eating some crap and now she's trying to lose weight. So we'll see. Our stuff, what happened to Brandon Curry? I'd imagine he wanted to defend his Arnold title with a clear victory. Have not talked to him, so I don't know. And I don't want to speculate what his reasons were, but I don't know why he didn't go for the Arnold. The Arnold, just this lineup, it's basically the top 10 Olympia minus only a couple people, Brandon being one of them. Top two, Hadi and Derek being another two, but it's very, very similar. There's a lot of top 10. Rami obviously was in there. Nick Walker was in there. Bonac, Andrew Jacked. Keem was not. Samson was. Justin was not. Patrick was not in the Olympia. Yeah, it's going to be a great show. Let's see. Ron is in the house. I'm in my house. That's correct, Muscle Machine. Yeah, badass. Thanks for the honesty about PED addiction. I honestly, this is why I tell a lot of natural guys when they say, I just want to try it once. I'm like, take it from me and take it from so many people that I've known. So many people, you think you're going to do it once. You think you're going to use steroids once, put on some muscle and, you're going to lose some of it, but you'll still be ahead of the game because you'll have more muscle than you had, right? But then you just want more and more and more. And you get addicted to the way you look and feel on drugs. That's just not possible without the chemicals, the hormones. And you never want to stop. Once you've been bigger, stronger, people start complimenting you, you're getting more attention. It's very difficult. Usually most people only stop when they die or when they get a serious health problem. And even then, I've known plenty of guys who had serious health problems like congestive heart failure, heart attacks, things where you'd be like, okay, well, they're definitely not going to use steroids anymore. They went right back on them. And a lot of them did die. Yeah, it's addictive, totally addictive. Jet School, Ron, do you use an intra-workout drink is necessary? And if so, could I use without buying a pre-made drink? Yeah, I've been using it because Milos, I talk to Milos a lot, and he's a very, very huge proponent of intra-workout nutrition. He was actually the first, I think he probably was the first guy in the industry to start doing it back in the 90s. So right now I'm with Redcon, and I use, what do I use? Grunt is the essential amino acids. I put a scoop of glutamine in there. Creatine. I have the creatine with my pre-workout, so I don't use it then. I don't always use the carb powder. I can't remember the name of their carb powder. I don't always use the carb powder. I don't want like a lot of heavy stuff in me. I used to, for many, many years, I just drank water. And honestly, I don't know how much of a difference the intra-workout makes. It probably does make a difference, though. If you want to train harder, have better workouts. But yeah, I mean, you could make your own with essential amino acids, a carb powder, a scoop of glutamine, a scoop of creatine, you're good. Joseph, Nick DeJoy said that Chad sent him Rami update in his quad or fix. His triceps are better than Olympia, but not 2020 Olympia. Do you think that's enough for Rami to win? We'll see, man. All these predictions, all the speculation, until we get there, until we get to the show and see how everybody looks right there in front of us, it's just mental masturbation, guys. We don't know. We're just guessing. We're hoping. Rami could win this. I mean, the guy won 2 Olympias. If he's fixed his issues, if his back, lower lats are good again, his tricep, if he looks as good as he did in 2021, where he still beat all these guys with the exception of the only guy who wasn't in the lineup at that point was Andrew Jacked. And of course, Clarita and Kamal. And Samson wasn't there. I don't know, if he looks the same as he did at his second win in 2021, I think that could be enough. But it's not going to be easy for him. He's got Samson, he's got Nick, he's got Andrew, he's got a lot of guys to worry about they all want that title. They're all gunning for that $300,000 first prize, $300,000 US. Badass again. Or addicted to any other drugs other than PED? I do smoke marijuana occasionally, more than occasionally, but never when I'm working. Is it an addiction? I don't know. I've heard you can't be addicted to it, but I do use it at nighttime to wind down, to calm down, help me sleep. I'm sure there's a lot of people who consider that an addiction, so yeah. But as far as like cocaine or amphetamines, no, I don't use any of that stuff. So caffeine. I drink coffee twice every day. Maybe that's an addiction. I don't know. You could really, everyone's got their own opinion. So some people would say, well, you're addicted to caffeine. You're addicted to marijuana. You're addicted to steroids. Maybe so. How much cardio do you do every day to stay lean, says Trailblazer? I don't even do it every day. Well, I walk my dog twice a day. We're gone for a good 30 to 40 minutes, and it's pretty, sometimes he's pulling and I got to really go fast. So that's like an hour of cardio right there. Just, it's walking. It's not that intense, obviously. At the gym, I'd say I do 20 to 30 minutes at this point, like 4 times a week after my weight training. But it's really the eating, man. You really got to eat clean if you want to stay lean. You can't have a lot of junk. You can't have way more carbs than you need. You can't have a lot more calories than you need. You have to sort of eat just above your maintenance level so you can still try to gain, but you're not gaining much of fat. It's tricky. That's why food diaries and these apps and stuff, they do come in handy because a lot of people have no idea how much they're eating. A lot of people are eating a lot more calories than they need to, especially if you have a lot of body fat. I guarantee you're eating more than you need to eat. It's calories in versus calories out. D-Shore, I just started Testo Gel. What's your thoughts on the gel? I used it for a good year and a half. I used Androgel, another brand name, I guess. The one thing I did like about it was that I was using it every day, so I knew I was getting a very steady stream of testosterone, as opposed to even when you're injecting. If you're injecting only once a week, you're going to have a high and a low because it's going to go up, a couple days after your shot, and it's going to start coming down. Whereas with the gel, because it was every day, I feel like my levels were more even. But I do know a lot of the gel, a lot of it doesn't get absorbed and utilized, so you're wasting a lot of it, which I hate wasting food, wasting anything, gasoline. Wasting things really bothers me. It's just, I came from, both my parents grew up during the Depression. They were old. My parents, they're both long gone, but they were born in 1928 and 29. So I have that old school mentality. Wasting is bad. Yeah, it's okay. I mean, if you can, obviously you have to worry about not rubbing it on your girlfriend, wife, kids, whatever, because it'll transfer to them. But I'd rather inject it. I know a lot of people don't like needles. I don't love injecting. Believe me, it's not like I'm like, oh boy, can't wait to stick a needle. No, I don't enjoy it. But at least I know it's deep inside the muscle. It's not going anywhere. Yeah. Alberto Montejo, yeah, super physiological standalone dose of insulin. Best thing you can do, Ron, for muscle protein. Yeah, I don't want to use insulin. I'm sure if I was very fastidious and precise with it, I could do it pretty safely. I'm just had no interest in using it. I'm really not worried. I'm not trying to put on muscle. You guys got to understand, I've been training 40 years now. I'll be 54 years old in September. I started training. I've been training nonstop since 1983. 1983. Wrap your minds around that for a minute. I've been as heavy as almost 250 pounds. I'm good, man. I don't need any more. I mean, would I like to put on a bunch more muscle? Sure, but I'm not going to use insulin. I'm not interested. Any update on Leo and longevity death, says Trailblazer? Not that I know of. I haven't done any research, investigative reporting into it. I stayed away from that whole thing. I didn't know Leo. He was messaging me at one point. He was upset with Dave Palumbo and RX Muscle and wanted me to help him take down the channel. And I was like, no, dude, I don't want to get into a battle with anybody. I mean, I have enough to do without getting into wars and feuds and battles. But yeah, it was a strange situation. I have no idea what really happened to that guy, and maybe we'll never know. Some strange reports from Tony about that. Trailblazer, can you buy steroids from stores in Mexico without prescription? Yeah. One of my friends told me I could get pharmaceutical grade stuff there. There's a few countries I know, like Thailand, you can get it. Mexico is right over the counter. I'd be a little concerned with the quality personally, because I remember years ago, we're talking like 97, 98. It would have been 97, because 98 I was off. I took that year off gear. I bought some Deca down in the pharmacy there. It was supposedly the Organon Deca from the US. And I come back and looked at a picture in, I think it was Muscle Media 2000. Everything was wrong. The packaging didn't look right. And I'm sure there was nothing in there. There was no Deca in there. I wouldn't trust the stuff in a Mexican pharmacy. I wouldn't. They don't care. Do they really care if they rip you off? Really? Please. They just want your money. Chad Burns, Ron, how often do you check your blood pressure taking a medication manager? I only check it when I go to the doctors, and it's never been high, so it ain't broke, don't fix it. I don't have high blood pressure. I don't, knock on wood. I have great genetics for health in response to steroid abuse over a long term. I never had great genetics to become like some awesome, huge bodybuilder and win my pro card and win pro shows. I didn't have those genetics, but I've been on steroids for a very, very long time. And a lot of the people who use them in the amounts that I did, even for lesser amounts of time, they're dead. Why am I still here? Through the grace of God. I believe that. And, good genetics. Good genetics for that. Anyway, so I don't check my blood pressure. Brian Nasser, I'm pulling for Clarita and Sampson. Yeah, nobody's talking about Clarita. That would be the best. That would be the best upset of the show. 175, 178 pound guy wins the whole thing. He's beating, Rami's like 300 pounds, Samson's like 300 pounds, Nick's a big monstrous freak. That, Andrew's like 290. Yeah, it'd be amazing. I'm rooting for Sean for sure, and Samson. Same here, Brian. Day 2. What's your opinion, Day OZ? What's your opinion how long you should wait to inject into delts again after last shot at around half to 1 ml? If they're still sore, I wouldn't go near them. I would rotate. That's typically what I would try to do is delt, glute. So then, I don't know how long you're going between injections, but at least you have that area some time to absorb the oil, and the post-injection pain should be gone. If anything's still painful, tender to the touch, do not stick a needle in there again. What a scientific and medical, what a great answer that was, right? That's a total bro science answer. Any new competitors for Masters Olympia? Yeah, I'm not even thinking about that right now. It's all about the Arnold right now, guys. The Arnold is only a week. It's like 10 days away. Yeah, it's all about the Arnold. What is Jeff Sears? What is the best split for workout? That's one for you. There's so many different ways you can arrange your workouts. If you find one that you really enjoy and works well for you, that's the best split for you. I've been on for 3 years now, push, pull, legs. I like it a lot. I usually do all 3 days in a row, but sometimes if I have stuff going on or I feel like I need another day, I'll throw another rest day in there. So push is chest, shoulders, triceps. When I say shoulders, I don't mean the rear delts. Pull is back. I don't really do traps anymore. I think they get enough work from everything else. Back, rear delts, and biceps. And of course, legs, the leg day. And then a day off and then repeat. But like I said, you can throw another rest day in between any of those days and it doesn't hurt the split. I like it a lot. And there's no overlap. What I didn't like about the other ones is like, say you do chest and triceps on a Monday. Say Tuesday let's say you do back on Tuesday. Say Wednesday you come back and you're doing shoulders. Well, shoulders and biceps are shoulder. Well, the point is Monday you did chest and you're working a lot of front delts when you're doing all your pushing movements for chest and triceps. They're both involved in shoulder pressing. So did you really get enough time to recover? I don't know. There's a lot. What do you think on Bonac last update? Realistically, think he can win the Arnold? Yeah, he's won it twice before. Why wouldn't he be able to win it again? He was very flat at the Olympia. Giles Thomas had him on MD Global Muscle a couple weeks back, and he was very flat. So that wasn't the Bonac that we're used to seeing. The Bonac that won the Boston Pro last March, week after the Arnold, that Arnold was dead. That William Bonac was deadly. If we see that William at this show, all bets are off. What's your height? I'm currently 5'7.5". I was a little over 5'8". I think I was 5'8.25". I graduated high school at 5'8", and I was only 17. I turned 18 a few months later that fall. I think I put another quarter inch on in the year after that. I know I was over 5'8" for a little while, and then I think around age 44, I went to the doctor, and for the first time I was under 5'8". I was like 5'7.75". And it's slowly come down. Hopefully I don't get much shorter, my God. But right now, 5'7.5". Can't do anything about it, guys. It's my height. Sorry. Andrew Jack will win Mr. Olympia. Someday, Jesus, maybe. Jesus. Any supplements or drugs to improve skin texture look? I don't know. I moisturize. I have products my wife bought from the Pimple Popper. What's her name? Sandra Lee. So SLMD is her line, and I use like the eye cream, the face cream. I don't know about drugs or supplements for the skin texture. I've never really looked into it. Two-shot runner. Chris Lewis and Aceto said Andrew's back is sharper and he had deep separation, quad hamstring from side, and obviously he smokes everyone front shots. What do you think he can win? There's like 5, 6 guys that can win this Arnold Classic. It's crazy. There's nobody who you look at the list and go, oh, there's your winner. No, it's going to be a dogfight up there. It's going to be a battle, which is great. That's exciting. Everyone's going to be watching the judge and like, oh my God, wow, they're going to be moving guys around, and especially since there's only 10 guys in the show, that gives them a chance to really compare everybody to everybody. Everyone's going to get a really good look. Muscle Machine. Hey, Ron, what would your opinion on Androl 50? Very powerful oral compound. Obviously, it's liver toxic, so you don't want to be on it for too long. But yeah, great drug. I've used it. I like it as about the same as Dianabol. It usually does come in 50 milligram tabs, so you probably don't want to take all 50 at once. I would do like 25 under your tongue pre-workout and another 25 under your tongue, let it dissolve later. So Dr. George Suliato, so we have a new video this morning. Every Tuesday morning we come out with a new Ask Dr. T. He's been saying for over 200 episodes now, we usually get a lot of questions about oral steroids. And if you put them under your tongue and let them dissolve, you'll avoid a lot of the damage that comes through it having to go through your digestive system, because it gets more directly into your bloodstream through that gland under your tongue, the buccal gland. But yeah, Androl 50, great oral drug for size, strength. Gives you some water bloat, which most people don't really mind in the off season. It's a little extra weight, it's a little extra cushion. Yeah. Trailblazers, have you used insulin? Do you think it improved your physique? I use it, and I use it wrong. That time I was trying to get to 250, I was on insulin that whole winter. I was doing 20 units pre-workout with some carbs, 20 more units after workout with carbs. I was only using it on workout days, but I was using it with carbs and fat. I was eating like cookies, like chocolate chip cookies after the workout with it, which you're not supposed to have fat. It's supposed to be straight carbs, so I messed up. So I got fat on it. So I'm definitely not the person to ask about proper insulin use, because the one time I used it, I effed it up pretty bad. I mean, I got big, but I got big and fat because I was doing it wrong. You're not supposed to have fat. And don't ask me the correct protocols. Google it. And I think Milos has talked about it a few times. Let's see. Another Andrew Jack will win Mr. Olympia. Yeah, someday. Christopher H., can I do gram of tren a week for TRT? It's not TRT. I don't know. I don't know. Why do you guys say TRT for like a steroid cycle? TRT, I think a lot of you guys don't know what it stands for. Testosterone replacement therapy. So replacement should indicate that it's replacing something that's not there. If you're like a young guy, you have testosterone unless you've already depleted your body. You've ruined your body's ability to produce it. So gram of tren, no, that would not be TRT. I don't think anyone needs a gram of tren a week. It's such a powerful drug. I don't think anyone needs more than 300 to 400 milligrams a week for great results on tren. I don't think you'll see much better results on a gram. I think 400, maybe 500 max. It's a very strong drug, very effective. That's the mailman. He walks around with like his music going. He's listening to Branch doesn't like that. Do you, Branch? Look at him. You don't like that, do you, kid? Nope. He doesn't like when the mailman comes and delivers our mail. Oh, boy. We're almost done. Heard Liver King is natty now. Yeah, I don't believe he. Do I really believe he is? No. I find it. I don't think he could stop, because he's going to look different. If he looks exactly the same as when he was on all those drugs, then he's still on all those drugs. When people use PEDs to enhance their physique and they say they're off drugs and then they look the same, then they're lying to you. They're still on drugs, because they would look different. They would lose some muscle mass. They would look smaller, softer. So if they're not, then they're just lying. So whatever. I don't care. Our stuff. Did you notice the difference between the real GH and UGL? I was using it so sporadically. It's not like I've been on GH steady for years and years. I was getting it through that LWP company. That was underground stuff. I wasn't on the real stuff very long, so I can't say. Like I said, I got one pen one time. Those who makes those pens? Genotropin, which was only 36 IUs in a whole pen. I think I got 2 of those pens. So I wasn't on the real stuff. I've never been on legit farmer grade GH long enough to give you an answer on that. Curano 88. At what age do you think natural test levels begin to decline? I think for most guys, it's around late 20s, early 30s. Yeah. There are guys, somebody in the comments will be like, well, I'm 48 and my test levels are through the roof. Well, good for you. God bless you. You're an outlier. There's always exceptions to the rule. Like if we say, when do women go through menopause? When do they start there'll be some 50-year-old woman who hasn't gone through menopause yet out there somewhere who still looks like she's 30 years old, but that's not everybody. So there are men whose test levels will stay high into their 40s, maybe even 50s, maybe even 60s. I don't know. There's got to be somebody out there, just a genetic freak or outlier, that their test levels stay high. But generally speaking, men's testosterone levels do start to decline late 20s, early 30s, because why do our bodies have these high levels of testosterone? It's all evolution. It's for breeding. It's for the continuation of the human species. So our prime breeding years are when we have the highest testosterone, highest sperm counts. We're the most fertile. Just like women. Women's fertility is at its peak from like 16 to 24. By the time a woman's 30, they already call it a geriatric pregnancy if she gets pregnant. Most of her eggs are already gone. And they still keep pumping out eggs until, menopause and all that, but it's much, much less. A woman's chances of getting pregnant at age 40 are much, much lower than they are when she's 20, put it that way. And just like a guy's testosterone level when he's 20, generally speaking, is going to be much higher than it is when he's 40. William Ryan. Hi, Ryan. I'm on the same statin as you, 40 milligrams. Wow. Have no bad side effects. Keep on using your picture. You look better than 80%. Thank you. I was going to use my picture anyway. One guy crapping on me is not going to. It hurts. It hurts my feelings, but oh well. What's a leg day? It's a day where you just train legs, quadriceps, hamstrings, calves. So the whole workout is legs. That's what I did today. I did legs. Yesterday was my pull day. I did back. Pull, push, then back tomorrow I'm on push, and then I get a day off. So push, chest, shoulders, triceps. Let's see. Move fast through questions. I'm trying. Brian asks, I got to get back to work. Thank you for watching, Brian. Keep crushing it with a few no BS people. Thank you for watching, Brian. Appreciate it. Gamboni Law, ever thought about just doing a TRT dose now that you're older? What would you consider true TRT as opposed to a cycle? True TRT would only be just testosterone. It would be nothing else, obviously. That's what true TRT is. And it would be just enough, a dose that's enough to put you in a high normal range. So maybe somewhere between 800 and 1,000. What would that be for me? I don't know. Maybe it would be 100, maybe it would be 200. I don't know. It's not the same for everybody. There's this mistaken idea a lot of people have that X amount of testosterone is going to equate to X test levels in everybody. We're not all the same. We all metabolize the drugs differently. And, someone who's been on steroids for many, many years might need a little bit more testosterone than someone who's never touched the stuff to get to those levels. But people who are on like 100, they say, that's true TRT. That's all you need. That's all you need. It doesn't mean that's what everybody needs. That's like this gentleman that's on the statin. He's on 40 milligrams. I'm on 10. Why isn't everybody on the same amount? Because we're all different. Drugs are given in different doses, prescription drugs. That's why, doctors won't prescribe the same dose to every patient because they don't all need the same. They're all individuals. Same with TRT. You flatten your knuckles. My knuckle, Alberto, I don't know why they're always red. I have no idea. I haven't broken board. No, I've never broken boards. Johnny, do you use, what is it? Cialis. Yes. I'm on 5 milligrams of Cialis every day. Great pumps in the gym. Better than any pre-workout with pump products in it. Erections. Awesome. Awesome erections for sex. And it's a very low dose. You only need 5 milligrams a day, every day, a micro dose, a small dose for that effect. Cialis, I think it's great. And I think there's research showing it's good for your circulation, for your heart. I don't see any downside. Trailblazer 82, is TRT an Anavar? safe for long-time use together? Well, no oral is safe for long-term use, really, except Proviron. I think Proviron's the only one because it doesn't, it's not 17 alkylated. Everything else is. Everything else is 17 alkylated, so it's eventually going to damage your liver, even at a low dose. So I wouldn't do it for long-term. I think it's okay to, you know, this is obviously an individual thing going by your blood work and your liver enzyme levels, but generally speaking, you can probably get away with using Anavar on top of your TRT for 4 to 8 weeks before you start seeing any problems for most people. Don't quote me because you might be one of those people, your liver blows out after 3 weeks. But generally speaking, thanks for all the work you do. Thank you, Muscle Machine. Correction, can I live a normal life on a gram of tren a week? Well, what's normal? A gram of tren a week, you're going to have a lot of side effects. That's a heavy dose. I think if you don't know the side effects, you're going to have a crazy sex drive. Like you're going to be looking at every female like, so that can be problematic in some situations for sure. Even at the gym, you stare at a woman like a piece of meat, she'll put you on blast on TikTok. And in that case, rightfully so. You shouldn't be leering at a woman like, you shouldn't be doing that. A lot of guys have really bad sleep problems. They're sweating, trensomnia, they call it. They just have trouble sleeping on tren. A lot of people just don't feel good after a while on tren. So I don't know how long you can get away with that before it becomes unbearable and intolerable. So most people don't stay on tren all the time. They'll cycle it on and off. Typically, they'll use it for certain periods of the year, like summer. If I was using it, when I've used it, it's typically been in like summer months when I want a leaner, harder look. But I've never been on tren like year round. I'm afraid. Got some good gains. Your dog got some good gains. He's 80 pounds. He's a pit lab mix. He's not as jacked as a full 100% pit bull, but he's more athletic and longer legs, longer torso than a pit bull. That's the lab part of him. He's also got some plot hound in him. I don't see that in him, but this is the DNA test. Plot hound, Chesapeake Bay Retriever, Labrador Retriever. At the very bottom was Dog de Bordeaux, which I don't see any of that in at all. What are your parents' and grandparents' nationalities? So my father's side, his parents are both totally English, British ancestry, white Anglo-Saxon Protestant wasps from Massachusetts. Very, very white, very British ancestry, Protestant religion. Mother's parents, her dad came from, was it Warsaw or Lodz? Poland. He came from Poland. She came from Ukraine. They met in the U.S. in like 1915 or something. They both emigrated to the USA. They both got out before World War II, thankfully. So yeah, so half English on my dad's side. Mother's side would be Polish and Ukrainian. I think when in the DNA test we did, it showed like Moldova, Romania, Ukraine. Like it went up in a trajectory. Like they must have migrated up from, because Moldova's down here and they went up that way. I don't know. They're all dead anyway, long dead. Keith Lee, what do you recommend to do to manage elevated red blood cell count while on gear? Most people just, they phlebotomize. They donate blood. So they donate blood like once a month, once every 3 or 4 weeks. And that gets rid of all the extra blood cells, and then your body makes fresh new blood. Yeah. Trailblazer, as I get older, I feel I'm losing my legs even though I train them consistently. Even my legs, I still have big legs, but they're not like they used to be. And I still train them. I can't squat very heavy like today. My back and stuff, I'm not going into all my injuries and bore you guys, but like 225 for a couple sets of 10. That's all I did today for my top set of squats. That used to be like a warm-up, a very easy warm-up for me. I can still leg press a lot. I can still put some leg machines I can load up, but yeah. I think with me, it's just been like injuries, like my knees and my back just can't handle the loads that they used to safely without a lot of pain. But yeah, it's tough to keep the legs. Like I said, my legs are probably 75, 80% as big as they used to be. They're still bigger than most people's, but they're not what they used to be. They're not, if I'm being honest. Jesus M, there isn't much money in the fitness world. There's plenty of money in the fitness world. Plenty of money. Everyone's an online coach. That's very profitable for a lot of people. Trailblazer, Nick Walker's skin looks horrible, acne everywhere. Is that from Trent or test? I didn't know he had horrible acne everywhere. I don't know what drugs he's on. I have no idea. Okay, so Johnny says, what's the difference between Cialis and Viagra? So Cialis is very long acting. It stays in the system a very long time. The French used to call it the weekend drug because guys would take it like a Friday night, and it was good for whatever sexual activities they want to engage in like the whole weekend. I think it stays in your system for a good 48 hours or more. Viagra, not so much. Viagra clears your system. So Cialis is great if you don't know exactly when you're going to have sex, but you just want to be ready whenever and have a great erection. Strong like bull. Viagra, on the other hand, you have to take it, I think, like 30, 60 minutes before sex. And then it's only going to be good for a few hours. I don't know, like 2, 3, 4 hours, and then its effects are long gone. So Viagra is only good, I think, if you know exactly when you're going to have sex, and there's no chance your partner is going to, whether it's male or female, is going to shut you down and say, nah, no sex for you. I'm mad at you. You suck. So Cialis, I think, I don't even know why they make Viagra anymore, honestly. I mean, why wouldn't everyone just be on Cialis? I guess because they don't want to take it every day. A lot of people just use Viagra because I guess they know my wife and I, we're going to have sex Saturday night at 9:02 p.m. or something, and they can time it perfectly. But yeah, I don't know. Our stuff, I think Tren is a nandrolone derivative. It might have similar side effects. It's not nandrolone derivative. Dr. T talks about this all the time. This is why he's the doctor, and I'm just the guy that reads the questions off to him, because I'm not that. I forget things. I have to look things up like this half time. DHT derivative. I think it's a DHT derivative. Yeah. So it's got a lot of side effects. Yeah, Tren is it's a very powerful drug, very popular, obviously. The young people now, that's all they want is Tren. Where can I get some Tren? Give me some Tren. But it's got some serious side effects. But it's not a free ride drug, not at all. Do you see men do glute bridges in your gym? No. I see some of them use the sometimes we have like a glute. We have a machine for that our owner bought about a year ago. So you'll see some guys on that, but it's mostly girls. Girls are always, they're on the deadlift platform with the glute bridge, piling on all kinds of weight. And we have that machine it's not that far away. It's like 10 feet away, piling all kinds of weight on there. They all want these giant butts now. Thoughts on Superdrol, Johnny? This will be my last question. I apologize. This is my last question, but leave some more questions in the comments, guys, and I'll get to them in the next one. I promise. Superdrol, never tried it. Very, very powerful pro-hormone. It was actually a drug. It's like a steroid that just was never classified by a pharmaceutical company or patented as such, but it's very powerful. I don't think it's been sold legally it was only on the market a short time. Maybe, was that like 15 years ago at least? And ever since then, it's been made by the underground labs, and people love it. Very fast gains in size and strength, just like something like Anadrol or D-bol. A lot of water retention. You'll get a lot of acne. It's high aromatization. Your estrogen will go up a lot. It's probably not good for your hairline if you're predisposed to that. Hold on, Branch. Relax. Yeah, I know, Branch. Help us. We're going soon, Puppas. We're going soon, Puppas. You hear him? Very impatient doggy. All right, well, that is it, guys. I'm going to sign off. I appreciate you guys watching. Please, again, subscribe to the channel. If you like the video, hit that thumb thing. Share the videos, and, of course, hit the notification bell in the corner so you know when we have new videos. And that's it. Thank you so much for watching. Take care of yourselves. Check out all the other great content on this channel. MD Global Muscle, Ron Line Report, MD Muscle Talk, Ask Dr. T, Fac Attack, No Way Jose, Brazilian Beat with Miguel Chain. Am I forgetting something? Buff Bomb Show with Lauren Lauder. That's Giles' girl. A lot of great content on this channel. Please check it out. We appreciate it. So thanks for watching. See you next time. Bye-bye.